Hey guys, how you going? Okay, this one is the only one going on YouTube today. I'm having a bad week. Just please bear with me this week. When it rains, it pours, that type of thing, you know. I'll talk about it when I go live next. Anyway, in the meantime, John Ruddick, MLC, last night I reflected on Pride Month and the same-sex marriage campaign in 2017. Warning it would be a slippery slope, and he goes on to talk about this. I'm going to insert the video here.
Honourable John Ruddick.
Thank you, Mr Deputy President. Somehow June has become Pride Month. My party, the Libertarian Party, is in favour of community events, festivals and celebrations, but Western civilisation's most ancient and celebrated festival, Christmas, is over and out in a week. A month for Pride is way too excessive. And it's not just Pride Month or Mardi Gras in February and March. There's Transgender Day of Visibility in March. There's the International Day Against LGBTQIA+ discrimination in May. Non-binary People's Day in July. Wear It Purple Day in August. But October is busy with Pronouns Day, Asexual Awareness Week and Intersex Awareness Week. But don't forget November with Intersex Solidarity Day, Transgender Awareness Week and the Trans Day of Remembrance. The Canadian government has recently announced that June to September, 4 months, is Pride season. No doubt that's on its way down under. The rainbow calendar is now similar to a religion without a god, having all these feast days and holy days that everyone has to acknowledge or be shunned for heresy. Now, my party was the first political party in Australia to support legalising same-sex marriage. It was in our founding document in 2000. A majority of Australians in 2017 agreed in a plebiscite to change the law. At that time, during that campaign, figures like Corey Bernardi and Lyle Shelton were demonised for warning that same-sex marriage would be a slippery slope. I didn't believe them. 7 years later, we must face the reality. Bernardi and Shelton have been proven utterly correct. In the years prior to same-sex marriage, a privately and publicly funded well-funded activist movement ran a campaign to bring about this change to the law, and then they won. So the activists then had a conundrum. How could they keep all the high salaries flowing? Easy. Invent new rainbow causes that are so important that the taxpayer has to fund them. When lobby groups fight for a cause and win, they don't just pack up their bags at their lobbying tents and go home. Too often they simply find new and more radical causes within the same framework. Lobbyists that rely on government grants do not simply pat themselves on the back after winning their cause. They get addicted to the gravy train. They're just as bad as the slippery slope of legislation is the slippery slope of government funding. When campaigns for equal rights are won, too often they evolve into a never-ending campaign for special privileges. When Tony Abbott ceased funding the Climate Commission, there was outrage. So much outrage that within a few days, private donations exceeded the previous government funding. That's how it should be. My party advocates for a radical reduction in taxation and government power. When we have radically cut taxes and the government is put back in its box, the people will have far more money in their pockets and they can decide what causes they want to donate to. ACON started in 1985 as the AIDS Council of New South Wales, when AIDS was an epidemic. In 2016, the ABC declared quote, the end of AIDS as a public health issue and that Australia has successfully beaten the epidemic. Great news. But for some in ACON, it was bittersweet. What now was their purpose? How could they keep the public money flowing? I encourage people to read a website called ACON Exposed. ACON's website states that one of its objectives is to advocate for the meaningful inclusion, support and participation of our communities and the reduction of discrimination and stigma. All sounds good, but why should it be taxpayer funded? The same should apply to all similar groups. The New South Wales government spends a mere $400,000 every year on the gay and lesbian Mardi Gras. It could be easily self-funded. ACON is receiving $14 million a year, Mr Deputy President. It's hard to count, but on my reckoning, there are at least another 22 government funding programs specifically targeted at rainbow groups. Now, this isn't about equal rights, equal opportunity, or even equality of outcome. This is about lining the pockets of activist groups. If businesses, individuals and community groups want to celebrate Pride Month and everything else, I wish them all the best when it is self-funded. But my hunch is that without the public funding and with so many paid activists, that the free market will soon settle on far fewer rainbow neo-holidays.
Thank you.
Okay, I think he makes a whole lot of sense, and you can let me know what you think down below. Okay, and this one from Verica. Bob Catter rages about the dangers of cashless Australia. Let's have a listen to him.
Mr. Speaker, don't you realise that if you eliminate cash, then you will have to get permission off your bank manager to buy a loaf of bread? In actual fact, the common law has recognised, as has the written laws of Australia, that a banknote is a legal tender. You are obliged to take that banknote. As you yourself, Mr. Speaker, and I advised the refectory in this place. Now, to spell it out boldly and bluntly, without any equivocation, is absolutely necessary. And I commend the member for Calare in bringing this bill forward. It is definitely something whose time has arrived. It is an assertion of freedom that is needed as an imperative, as the most underlying principle of our freedoms, is the right to be able to purchase something. And if that right is taken off us and given to the banks, then the freedoms in this country have ceased to exist, and 1984 has arrived upon us.
I'm going to do a video for Rumble. It'd be different than this one, so hopefully I'll see you over there as well. Much love, guys, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye.